Hello, everyone, and welcome to All Four Downs, part of the CMG Sports Network. It's the CMZ Central Station here on the YouTube channel. You can follow me also on Facebook and on Twitter. We are live. The road to the Super Bowl is here. And yes, there's only a couple of weeks away, but our prediction, what matters most now. We're not really focused on the Pro Bowl or anything else like that, but we are focused on the updated news. Plus, um, new coaches, new coaches, and predictions. And the biggest announcement of today that we're going to hear throughout, I don't know, a week, all the way through every Hall of Fame inductees and everything else, is no other than the announcement of Tom Brady officially retiring as an NFL player. So, more on that. Hector, welcome to the show. Hey, a recap of last week. I went 0 for 2, man. It was a jinx on my part. I had to bring it up. I was going perfect on the wild card divisions, the divisional rounds, and when it came to the conference championship, I was wrong, man. My picks didn't come out. I think everyone was getting hurt, man.
Yeah. It sounded good on paper. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you again for the second year in a row got closer than I did. Uh, but but yeah, you took a big hit last week, and that
Big
was like,
hit,
wow.
bro. I lost money. All right. I have to admit it, man. I was going for San Francisco and the Cincinnati Bengals. I even changed the spread in favor of those two teams, thinking like I was so confident, super confident that I was going to win this. But eventually, the cards didn't play right. Brock Purdy got hurt. That
Mhm.
killed the momentum of the 49ers. And as much as motivation try to give him, but that dude just didn't have an arm for the rest of the game,
No,
right? And the Eagles put it on him, man.
yeah, they ate them up like vultures. Seriously, they
Mm.
they made it a one dimensional type of game, and that's all the 49ers could do. And I'm sorry, you just can't run the ball every single down and expect to win. And 49ers had no other choice. I mean, seriously. And
Right. And what it boils down to is for the 49ers, they're gonna need like five or six quarterbacks um in the roster, man, because man, they got bad luck with quarterbacks, man.
yeah, they
Ever
do.
since Kyle Shanahan took over, it's like every year someone's getting hurt.
Yeah. But credit to the Niners. They got as far as they did. With the last pick in the NFL draft, he did great. I'm not going to sit here and crown him as the next starting quarterback for the 49ers, but that's something the 49ers are going to have to go back and reevaluate. Is Trey Lance the man moving forward? Brock Purdy is backup. What you got to do? You look into the draft for another quarterback. I mean, they have a lot of good pieces, but you're still missing a couple that key player, key pieces here and there to get to the Super Bowl. Because it seems like we talk a lot about the Cowboys' woes, but the 49ers are in that same boat. They just seem to get so far and then they fall off the cliff. It's like that. It's like the dodo bird. They just fall over. You know,
Well, tell you what, Brock Purdy will not be. I mean, he'll still be with the team, but he's out for a whole season.
yeah,
And I'm not talking about this season. I'm talking about next season. He's gonna get Tommy John surgery, and that takes a whole year right there to recover.
yeah,
So, but as far as Garoppolo should already been healthy already. His name has never popped up, but he still got that contract with the 49ers. He's
right,
still gonna be there. I know they give him a contract to stay there. I just don't know what the length of it, but they still got him. Trey Lance. Nobody knows who is Trey Lance. I mean,
right,
he started the season, broke his ankle, and that was a wrap. So we'll see on that. And it seems like depending on the type of field you are playing with, most mobile quarterbacks are now mostly getting leg injuries, whether
right,
it's ankle, torn ACL, or something. And then they're just people just want like the grass back. NFL players are saying, "Give us the grass back," because they feel like it's safer for them.
mm-hmm.
But on the other side, the Kansas City Chiefs, in my opinion, they got lucky, man. I just didn't like the officiating of that game. I felt like everything was against the Bengals from the start. It's that vibe, and I know you got to play the game, you got to play to win. We've heard that before. It's not always the referees. You got to play every down. but it just seems like every down, every time there was a stop, there was always a penalty. Now, yes, Eli Apple, I'm gonna pick on him because his name was mentioned several times. Every time the Eagles, the Bengals got a good stop, it was always pass interference, holding, and it was just BS calls that I'm like, dude, you should be more disciplined when your defensive line is putting pressure on that quarterback and you here trying to hold down. I mean, either, dude, you're you're just not fit for that organization, man, and get somebody else because you're hurting your team. I feel
Yeah,
like the Eli Apple will hurt the defense because they accomplished a lot. And as far as the penalty at the very end, going over it, seeing the game over again just to understand it. I understand why they called the penalty because they've been calling it all season long. They've always called it, even for every player. You touch the player while they're out of bounds, it's an automatic flag.
yep,
Okay. Then the heat in the moment, I know the speed and everything else, dude. You got somebody that's weighing 300 pounds going in a high speed of rate, trying to slow down. I understand, but the rules are the rules.
yeah,
But there are many chances. Look, even Joe Burrow threw an interception, forced the ball to a rookie that was being defended by two people. I think that was a bad throw, and I'm sorry, but he has a lot more blame than anything else because that was the winning drive. Okay,
yeah,
you take chances with Chase, but now you're taking chances with a rookie. I don't think that was best fitting for that offense. But it is what it is. It was a close game. The Chiefs won by three. It seems like every time whoever wins is always by 3 points.
yep, yep. You're absolutely right. That's what the norm is for these two teams. You know, it did look like Cincinnati was trying to force a little too many different plays. They knew that they had Kansas City's number. They gloated over there in Buffalo, saying that they're going to Burrowhead. You know, there was just so much hype there, and I can understand that to a certain point. But you have to focus yourself and get ready for this game the right way, prepare the right way.
I
Again,
think they did, man. Honestly, I think they did. I think what also hurt them was, dude, how you going for third down twice? I mean,
yeah,
even the head
yeah,
coach was so confused. Like you had
yeah.
one referee doing something. They blamed the crowd that was loud. I mean, dude, the crowd was always loud all game. You know what I
That's
mean?
that's the number one stadium in the league. That's the loudest right now. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but they officiated before. It was loud
yeah,
before. I've never
yeah, yeah,
seen someone to stop play, right? And that what hurts more is that the Bengals stopped them. That's the whole point,
yeah,
And then all of a sudden, the next play, it is like you stop them again, but then there's a penalty,
yeah.
And I'm like, that kills the drive. It kills the momentum. And sadly to say that game, you got to blame the refs. I'm sorry. There's got to be a better system. You got veteran referees, veteran umpires in that game. It's not like it's a regular season and stuff like that. They're all veterans. They're chosen to do the job. They're the best of the best in the NFL, and it looked like the worst of the worst.
I look. I understand to a certain point, but everybody makes their mistakes, and I'm not going to sit here and put all the blame on the referees. To a certain degree, yes. But when you had just alluded to that, when you're forcing the ball into someone's hands or whatever, those are the mistakes that you're making. If you make smarter choices, maybe you don't have to leave it into the ref's hands to make those boneheaded calls, to where now you're in a situation where you can either win or lose this game, force overtime, whatever the case may be. The referees are part to blame, but at the end of the day, you got to know what you got to do when you're playing the game. Okay, you got to come with the right game plan and play to win and not try to force things. Since it wasn't Cincinnati's night, Kansas City just up won them. That's it. And so kudos to the Chiefs. They did what they had to do. But again, you like what you alluded to in the previous podcast is that again, Kansas City has been shut down in the fourth quarter. It seems like that's their Achilles heel against the Cincinnati Bengals. They can't seem to do anything right in the fourth quarter to put points on the board.
It
And
seems like it seems like Kansas City and Buffalo together always find a way. So
yeah, they
hey,
choking.
yeah, big shout out to Gerard Hogan.
What's
Hey,
up,
what's up,
buddy?
man? I'm glad you joined us on the show. But big announcement here is Tom Brady officially retires now. Pe- I was watching the banners on ESPN, the clicker about him retiring. This is the second time.
Right.
Technically, he never said that he retired. This was all speculation. Okay. And it started with the head guy in the NFL media guy, Adam Schafter,
Adam
who
Schefter,
jumped the
yeah.
gun saying that he officially retired. He never did, and there's nothing that he said that stated that he retired. Okay. He stepped away, he kept quiet, all the noise was out there. All of a sudden he retired. Everyone fell for it. Next thing you know, he was like, "Oh no, I'm coming back for another year." Okay. So, anyways, today he actually made an announcement without any drama, without any spin. He was direct on his speech and said, "I'm officially retired." So, congratulations to Tom Brady. It was fun watching him for over a decade. And dude, what can I say? Oh man, this guy, man. Hold
He's
on,
a
bro.
Cowboy
He
fan.
said, "Look at
That's why.
what us Cowboys did. Sent him on his way." Bro, I'm gonna tell you right now. Okay, he was done after he won the Super Bowl. Let's go.
Well,
All
let me
right.
just ask you, how many chances did it take y'all to finally win a game against Tom Brady?
Well, he didn't beat Tom Brady when he was with New England. Okay, you beat Tom Brady with a mediocre head coach. Okay, players that were hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you took advantage of what they gave you. You're right, 7-1. If you're
Right.
proud with that 7-1, congratulations.
Yeah, you
You
hold
know,
on to that one for the rest of your life,
I can say
for
this
whatever it's worth,
as a Giants fan, we are proud that we gave him two losses in the Super Bowl
where
to
it
stop the
matters,
undefeated season
where
when
it
it
matters.
matters.
Yeah,
Exactly.
because
So
I mean, yeah,
congratulations.
because Tom Brady's 6-1 against the Giants in the regular season all the time.
Mhm.
So
But we
yeah,
could gloat and say Eli Manning took care of business. Other than Dak Prescott, well, you took care of him, but you couldn't take care of the real games after that, and that's why the Cowboys are where they at. Thank you, Mr. Hogan.
thank you,
Well,
brother.
let's talk about more about Tom Brady. Look at his career. I'm gonna zoom it in real quick. He is number one, okay, in
God,
completions.
yeah,
He is number one in total yardage. He is number one in total touchdowns. Okay. Look at this. All right. So l- understand that we will not see Tom Brady as a Hall of Famer till 5 years out. And
exactly.
before we see Tom Brady, we're going to see Drew Brees get inducted into the Hall of Fame. Okay.
Right.
Um, and then look at the elites, man, like Brett Favre, Peyton Manning, But the other name that's out there it's Eli Manning, man. People want to question him about is he a Hall of Famer or not. He's top 10 almost in every category. Yeah, he's a
Yeah,
Hall of Famer.
yeah.
He is. But as far as Tom Brady, 7,753 completions, 89,214. I think Tom Brady was trying to reach 100,000, but it didn't go. If he would have played one more year, I think he would have.
Well,
Uh,
yeah, if you combine his, I think it's even his playoffs or something like that, he does have over 100,000.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then Tom Brady with 649 touchdowns. I mean, that is impressive, man. Very impressive. And then he is the only one with the most Super Bowl rings. He has 7. Second is Charles Haley, linebacker. I think Charles Haley played for the Cowboys, right?
And the 49ers, correct.
Yeah. So, I mean, if Jared, you still around on here and look at that. Hey, congratulations, buddy. Congratulations. All
And
right.
like you got up there, Tom Brady's been to more Super Bowls than any franchise.
Any franchise, and that's a
Golly.
clue. The Steelers, Cowboys, and Broncos have 8. Ain't that crazy?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Um,
So
um, no, hold on here, buddy. I do apologize. Where are the New England Patriots?
the New England Patriots. Well, I guess they included that because he was with. Well, he's wearing New England jersey.
Yeah, well,
So
as far as personnel wise,
yeah.
yeah, the New England Patriots have been to more Super Bowls.
Well, they got 7.
No, as far as
No, no,
appearances,
they got 8. They got 8.
appearances.
Oh, they got
The Patriots,
hold
I
on.
believe, been to 11 Super Bowls.
That's correct. Well, okay. Well, Super Bowl appearances compared to everybody
But
else.
yeah, you're right. But the
Right.
thing is that he is the
Mine
reason
is
why the
New England.
Patriots right. He's the
Right.
reason why the Patriots has been to more Super Bowls than any franchise.
Absolutely.
And that's just ungodly real. Look, I know a lot of us as football fans, we hated Tom Brady at some point in time, you know, but honestly, as a fan of the game, it was a pleasure watching him because who would have thought that this would have all become from someone who's from the sixth round, the 199th pick in the NFL draft? You see what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Right.
The sixth round pick. He was nearly Mr. Irrelevant.
Hmm.
I mean, he did what he did, man.
So I'm glad that he also mentioned too. Jared is saying something about Spygate Deflate Gate, right?
Right.
So again, he went to Tampa Bay and all that got erased. All
And,
that.
and wins the Super Bowl in the first year with him.
Exactly. Took the team to the playoffs again, even though it was a substandard record,
Yeah.
right? But you're right. He is still the GOAT. He is the GOAT of all quarterbacks.
Yeah. I give him
I
that.
can't say I can't sit here and say that he's the greatest of all time because I never lived in the past,
Right.
and in generation by generation, and it's almost like you're talking about like the NBA, who's the greatest of all time? Is it Michael Jordan? Is
Right.
it
Yeah. Yeah.
LeBron James? It's
Yeah.
hard because that's not in that era. It's a different time,
Right.
different strategy, different atmosphere, and
Right.
we could get nitpicky and all, but right now, yes, he is the greatest of all time. The stats prove it. The most Super Bowls. I mean, he's done it all. So,
Well, I
and
wouldn't say
not
he
not all quarterbacks could say that.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he done it all because the one record that eluded him was the perfect season, which the
Right.
72 Dolphins are so glad that it didn't happen. But
Well, what
but
was the Miami Dolphins record during that year? 72.
you're right. Yeah, I see where you're going with that.
Mm-hmm.
They did not win 18 games that year. I think they finished with 17-0.
Right.
You're right. So, but again, it's a different era. It was less
Right.
games in the regular season, and so yeah, it kind of varies back and forth.
Right.
It's a what if put the 72 Dolphins versus that Patriots team in a
Oh
regular season
no.
game.
Oh well, I
What
mean,
if?
you're talking about hardcore versus
Right.
the sensitive quarterback era, right? Like, don't touch
Yeah.
him, don't touch Brady. But then again, Brady played that shady stuff. Hey man, give me go.
Yeah.
Clean the field for me, man, so my kicker kick a winning field goal.
I'm not gonna sit here and say as a fan that it will never happen again because records are meant to be broken.
Oh,
But
exactly.
it may not even be in our lifetime that this ever happens again.
I think the only person that come close, if Patrick Mahomes wins the Super Bowl with the Chiefs, that it could possibility because he's still young.
Yes, he is. But
He's
he
not
has to
like
win
he's
it.
not near 40. He's still in his 20s.
Right. But I think he has to win it. He cannot lose the Super Bowl. He has to win this one
And he
to
has to
be on
have
the right track.
a great. I don't think Andy Reid is gonna last that long with the Chiefs,
Right.
right? But it will be another coach that could take care of like the 49ers, Joe Montana. He ended up having two head coaches to win 4 Super Bowl rings. So,
Right. Mm-hmm.
mhm. So,
Yeah.
hey, but talking about coaches, there's been some coaching shakeups going on in the NFL. You
Yeah.
got Kellen Moore, who was the offensive coordinator of the Cowboys. He leaves to be the Chargers offensive coordinator.
He's going
Do you
Hollywood.
think? Do you think that that's a good thing for him?
I think so. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not a Cowboy fan to really understand the relationship between him and Jerry Jones, but to me it didn't seem like things were working out there. To me Jerry Jones is shady anyway as an owner.
Right.
He says one thing but does something differently. And I think that's what hinders the Dallas Cowboys in their quest to win another Super Bowl or even to reach the Super Bowl. We can sit here and high side on each other, but real is real. Jerry Jones is in the way of this team of accomplishing anything more. And I think Kellen Moore was a great coordinator. And he did what he had to do. I mean, look at the Cowboys' numbers. They show it.
It was better than when Jason Garrett was the head coach.
Exactly.
And and look, overall, who's in charge, man? The head coach is in charge. He develops the plays. He said, like, hey, this is what we're gonna do.
But
But
not in Dallas, though. That's the problem.
I
Not in
tell you
Dallas.
one. I'll tell you this: if Kellen Moore changes the way the Chargers do their business, and make them better, that's a slap in the face to the Cowboys. And what's to say that the Cowboys have the same performance with another offensive coordinator?
Right. Yeah,
You know what
absolutely
I
right.
mean?
Hmm.
So who's on the hot seat right now?
Yeah.
And Quinn decided to take his name off the list to be a head coach somewhere else. What if Dan Quinn's next in line to become the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys?
It's possible.
He's been to the Super Bowl. I mean, McCarthy's been to the Super Bowl too and won it. Quinn blew it. You know what I mean with Atlanta. So I'm just saying, other coaches is Demeco Ryans. Is now the former defensive coordinator of the 49ers. He is now the head coach of the Houston Texans.
Right.
I don't know what to say about that because of the fact that I don't know much about Demeco Ryans, but I could tell you this is that it's a new system. It's gonna take a long time to gather up everything, and then his shirt says "crucial catch." It's gonna be a crucial pick to
Oh
see what they're
gosh.
gonna do on the draft because
Yeah.
they're not number one; they're number two. Are they gonna target a quarterback? You know what I mean? Are they going to
Hmm.
trade? Are they what is it that they're going to do to make that team better? That's that's
And
that's
it's
a
not.
that's a lot. Yeah.
And it's not going to happen overnight. We know that for a fact.
No,
So
absolutely not. Now, Houston, they are right. They just need great leadership. They might be the same way as the New York Giants. They had players, but they just didn't have the coaches to lead. Could this guy be the leader? He did well as a defensive coordinator. So the question is, you're going to be the head coach. Are you going to be a good coach, or you're just that you're only just as good as being a coordinator? There's a
yeah,
difference. Okay.
and real quick, going back to Kellen Moore,
Yeah.
the Cowboys do travel to Los Angeles to play the Chargers this coming new season. So
Mm.
it's going to be interesting to see how Kellen Moore takes that team, that offensive, against the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh.
That's going to be very interesting.
What's also interesting is Sean Payton taking
Wow.
taking the job as the Denver Broncos head coach, man.
Yes. Yes.
Wow. I didn't read up to how much the Broncos gave up to get him because again, Peyton still under contract with the Saints when he stepped down. So I don't know how much they spent. I mean, look, they're crazy as it is, spending a lot of money on Russell Wilson. So are we gonna get the real Russell Wilson that we've seen going to the Super Bowl with Seattle with Denver? You know what I mean? So and then it's also I'm just curious to see how they're going to be drafting this upcoming draft in April. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think everything's
And
going
I
good for him.
I believe the Broncos gave up a first round for the 2023 and a second round for the 2024 to the
That means they're
Saints.
all in for this upcoming season,
Yeah.
and we'll see. They might be the favorites. Who knows?
I won't go that far, but I would say I would give them a winning record at least.
But
Because it
they have one of the best defenses in the NFL. They just didn't have the offense to produce. They're like their defense spent more time in the field than the offense. That was the
right.
biggest problem.
They could give the Chargers a run for the second place in that division, honestly. But you're not going to catch the Chiefs at the moment. I'm sorry.
Mm. All right, he's saying the Bucks might get Derek Carr as a starting quarterback for the Tampa Bay. Could be. Who knows?
Um,
There's a
that's not
there's
that's
a
not a
lot of
bad.
quarterback
Yeah,
carousel going on
yeah,
too. Because he can easily go to the Jets. You know what I mean? Or will Aaron Rodgers go there? There's those rumors. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is
yeah.
going anywhere, to be honest with you. But that's another day for another time, right? And then Frank Wright, former head coach of the Colts, got the job as the Carolina Panthers. I think
Right.
that was best for the Carolina Panthers. If there was any coaching carousel, I think this one was the best
Yeah,
pick.
yeah.
Yes. I think
I believe.
he'll be that guy to shake up that organization and get them to their winning ways.
Yeah, I could see that happening. And now that Tom Brady's retired, now I think the NFC South is up for grabs, and
Absolutely.
we could be looking at Carolina because that Carolina wasn't that bad. They had it. They ran deep into the season for the division title.
But
So
the
we'll see what
players
happens.
are disappointed because the interim head coach I thought he was going to get the job. At
Right.
the way they finished the season was so strong.
Yes.
What if they had won it? Would they still get a new head coach?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think Carolina had their mind made up of where they wanted to go, no matter how far they went.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But here we are. It leads us to the Super Bowl. The Eagles versus the 49ers. Um, and again, these offseason moves are about to get crazy, but we're not going
Yeah.
to get there yet until this Super Bowl is complete. So
Yes.
this is it, man. Super Bowl in a couple of weeks. Eagles versus Chiefs. The Eagles are favored by a 1.5 points.
Correct.
So Hector, lay it on me, man. What kind of facts you got for these two for this particular game?
I like history. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes to the Super Bowl, this is a very exciting time. Especially when you don't have a dog in the fight, you can actually sit back and relax and enjoy the game and everything. But I come up with some true facts, but some crazy facts. Yeah, both party of mine, sure, why not? As long as you bring half the food, we'll be all right. I'll bring the other half.
Hold
So,
on, man. Before you finish that story, oh man, you gave me a memory. So Hogan and the listeners, yo, check this out. So talking about parties at Hector's house.
oh
Okay.
man,
Now
that
this
was the
particular
day.
party wasn't the Super Bowl. Okay. This was a party. It was a boxing party. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Why you what's up, man? Look, your head got even shinier now that I'm talking about it.
man, it
Um
was memorable.
so it was De La Hoya, Mexican fighter, versus the Puerto Rican fighter of Phoenix Trinidad. And this is
Both
back,
undefeated.
yeah, both undefeated, both belts on the line. This is for the undisputed welterweight championship, right? And here we are. One side of the room had the flag of Mexico. The other side was Puerto Rican flag, and everyone had to sit where they had to sit whoever they're going for. So the bet was, okay, whoever loses the round, and of course is unofficial stats, right? We all had to agree that we had to take a shot of Bacardi. There's 12 rounds, and I have to admit that you and I, Hector, we took like 9 shots of Bacardi. Okay,
It
to
wasn't looking
include
good.
to include some drinks in between. Okay, our other buddy, which I'm not gonna say his name on here, was
Oh,
falling in love with the dog. Okay,
mm, poor Ginger,
poor Ginger. What kind of dog was that anyway?
Boston Terrier.
A Boston Terrier. Okay, and it wasn't even his
Now,
dog.
my thing is, I didn't even invite the dog to the house. I don't even know how she got to my house. I don't think I invited her, but that's a different
No,
story for a different day.
right, exactly. No, it wasn't 151. It was regular shot, old school Bacardi.
Yeah.
Um, so anyways, when the Michael Buffer made the announcement that who won, when he said El Hijo de Puerto Rico, right? Hector tackled me so hard in celebration that my head hit the steel chair. Now, let me tell you, when you're drinking, like you feeling hot, you don't feel nothing in your body. You just want the cold air to hit in, right? And so anyway, I didn't feel it. Boom. And it was like, oh, and I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, we're celebrating. We won. And the next morning I wake up, I have this big chinchon. And what that means is I got a big ass bump on top of my head. I'm like, what the hell happened? And then I was
Yeah.
told that I hit the steel chair because of Hector. And I'm like, oh hell. And that swelling didn't go down for the next couple of days, man.
Yeah. It was almost like a Goldberg spirit to the metal
Oh,
chair.
believe me, Goldberg didn't have
But
nothing
see,
compared to that spirit he gave me.
but the reason being is because since Trinidad lost the first 6 rounds, we were already obliviatedly drunk by the 6th round. So after that, everything went out the window. So De La Hoya lost the last 6 rounds, but we didn't care. We drank with them anyway in
Yeah.
celebration. So,
Hey,
and I'm
it
still
was a
trying to
good
figure
time
out. I think I'm gonna have to go back to that certain individual and ask him why was the dog coming to the house after all these years.
because you invited somebody else that had their pet and they didn't want to leave it by themselves. Yes.
Uh,
Initials JV, and we'll just leave it like
it,
that.
it's still kind of fuzzy.
Anyhow, But if you're
Anyhow,
going to have a Super Bowl party, just I'm telling you this:
don't bring
when
the
you go to
Bacardi.
Hector's house, don't bring the Bacardi.
Don't bring the Bacardi.
Give them ginger ale.
Yeah, perfect.
Oh man, but hey, uh,
Yeah.
facts
So
about the Eagles and the Chiefs. What's up?
so we're gonna start off with this one fact. You just said that the Eagles are a point and a half favorite over the Chiefs.
Hmm.
Fact is that the last time and the only time the Eagles were favored in the Super Bowl was Super Bowl 15 against the Oakland Raiders. They lost that Super Bowl by 17 points.
Ooh.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
So let's go to another fun fact. Um, this is the fourth time that the Super Bowl will be played in the state of Arizona.
Hmm.
Okay. Three of those times, NFC East teams were there, being the Eagles being the third. The Cowboys did it, Super Bowl 30. They won. The Giants, Super Bowl 42. They won. And now the Philadelphia Eagles. Well, they win. Okay.
So they
So that's just
you trying to say that put that in perspective that NFC East is undefeated in Arizona
in the Super Bowl, yes.
in the Super Bowl.
At the,
Okay,
at the moment, at the moment,
at the moment.
at the moment. Okay, here's another fun fact. Kansas City, okay, in their previous four Super Bowls, the first quarter ended 7-3 or lower in the scores. Now, when the Chiefs were winning after the first quarter, they won two Super Bowls. When they were losing after the first quarter, they lost two Super Bowls. So now this is Super Bowl number 5 for them. Whoever seems to win the first quarter seems to win the game when playing the Chiefs.
Hmm.
Mm, okay. Two more facts. Each of these teams, the Chiefs and the Eagles, have played 3 odd number Super Bowls. With the Chiefs playing Super Bowl 1, 55, and now 57. And with the Eagles, they play Super Bowl 15, 39, and now 57. If you're feeling lucky, play those numbers. See what happens.
Wow, I wouldn't even thought about that. I'm glad you
And
did.
and the last fact is this is the third time in Super Bowl history that two teams with a record of a minimum of 14 wins in the regular season are facing each other. The first time was in Super Bowl 19 with the 49ers played the Dolphins. The 49ers were 15-1. The Dolphins were 14-2. Super Bowl 33, the Denver Broncos were 14-2. The Atlanta Falcons were 14-2. And now this year, both teams are 14-3. So there are your fun facts for the Super Bowl from your boy Hector.
Wow. Okay, duly noted. I got some more facts for you.
All
All right.
right.
But this is going to be interesting to see these two quarterbacks. Now, Patrick Mahomes is a veteran at this compared to the two because he's been there and
Right.
he's won it already. But for
Right.
Jalen Hurts, I'm going to tell you right now, he's been in a national spotlight before, but it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't a good one for Jalen Hurts because he was benched in the national
Right.
championship with Alabama played Georgia, and
Right.
Tua Tagovailoa was on fire in overtime and was able to help Alabama win the championship. And that
Okay.
sent Jalen Hurts to Oklahoma, not the following year, but the year after for his senior year to handle his
Mm-hmm.
business. And when he did go to the college football playoffs, he lost.
Mm.
Okay. They didn't come to play. Will it be the same, or is it because now during the NFL, things are different? And he does have Devontae Smith with him, who, again, he has experience of being a national champion. Okay.
Yeah.
But we have a mobile quarterback, and listen, it's a couple of weeks away. I'm not even going to talk about injuries because I don't feel like no one's going to be injured by the time the Super Bowl plays. Okay. So it's all yippity yapping. That's why I'm turning everything off. I'm not even going to listen to anything that they got to say about the Super Bowl. But here's other
Right.
facts right here. The head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, he was with the Chiefs organization before Andy Reid was hired. Okay. This is his first career Super Bowl appearance. His offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator, Shane Steinchen and Jonathan Gannon, There also are their first Super Bowl appearance. Now, this is his second year as a head coach, and it's probably fabulous because he's made it to the Super Bowl. But last year they lost to Tampa Bay in the NFC wildcard game.
Hmm.
Now they're in the Super Bowl. So let's see what can happen there. On the other side, Andy Reid was the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. Now that's a big story that if you're tuned in, you're gonna just hear what Andy Reid did. He got him to one Super Bowl of the whole entire time he was there. Remember, from
Hmm.
1999 to 2012, only went to one Super Bowl and lost to the New England Patriots. Okay, since 2013, we already know, we talked about it's highlighted in yellow. In 2019, they defeated the San Francisco 49ers. You got Eric Bieniemy, 10th season with the team, fifth as offensive coordinator. Fabulous job. Um, Again, one Super Bowl appearance. Steve Spagnuolo, whatever. Good Lord, I'm messing up his name. My bad. We known him since he was the defensive coordinator of the New York Giants. He has
Hmm.
two Super Bowl rings. This guy is a Super Bowl defensive guru. Okay. I'm taking nothing away. This guy knows. I mean, he might not know how to be a head coach, but he knows how to play defense. Now, there were some close calls against the Bengals. Okay. How do you allow a team that's third and 15 and then all of a sudden they're able to get a first down? Okay.
Right.
So it plays an important role, especially Jalen Hurts. He's able to not only throw the ball, but he can also run. Okay.
Yes.
Another concept is that these referees are always protecting the quarterback. They got to play smart. San Francisco was playing smart, but Bosa got hurt. Players were getting hurt and they were not able to contain Jalen Hurts in that offense. They had a good
Hmm.
schematics, but if they were healthy, I think it would have been something different. And I still
Right.
believe in my heart that the 49ers can defeat the Eagles, but it is what it is. Okay. But if you look at it, the experience and everything else, it favors the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay. Here is the bracket. Okay. This is where we go. Kansas City had a bye week. They ended up defeating the Jacksonville Jaguars 27-20. Then they went head to head, defeated the Cincinnati Bengals 23-20. For the Philadelphia Eagles, look, they played the New York Giants. We knew that the Giants they couldn't stand tall against the Eagles, 38-7. They went ahead with San Francisco falling apart in the middle of the game. They won 31-7. Which of these two teams are going to win the Super Bowl? On paper, it looks like the Eagles are favored because they've only given up 14 points compared to the Chiefs. They've given up 40 points. Okay. So, my question to you now, here's the real deal. Who are you going for in the Super Bowl?
I got the Kansas City Chiefs. I think their defense is going to outshine the Eagles' defense in this game. I know the Eagles got the number one defense, the number one rush defense, but I just feel that with Spagnola on that side of the defensive side for Kansas City, he's going to chalk up some kind of play, and they're going to find a way of beating the Eagles. They're going to shut down Jalen Hurts. They're going to make him throw some bad passes, and it may cause a couple of turnovers because of the situation. And I think the Chiefs walk away with the victory.
I looked at
Yes, sir.
this. I was convinced all the way Kansas City Chiefs. I was convinced. I was being the hater flag, right? Then
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking and I'm comparing the schedules. And I said to myself, okay, I don't think Philadelphia Eagles have been battle tested maybe one time on the whole season, and that was against the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys took care of business and and they defeated them, right? But other than that, when you look at the playoffs, I don't think that the Eagles were battle tested as a playoff level.
Right.
But for the Chiefs, looking at where they come from, okay, remind you they lost to the Buffalo Bills in regular season. They lost to Cincinnati. They came back. They played strong. Jacksonville is a lot better team than what the record is. Okay, they had a slow start. They almost could look like the Cincinnati Bengals, right? And they went ahead and defeated them. They took care of business with Cincinnati, and you know how that game outplayed. So I said to myself, you know what? Comparing to the two teams, I believe that the Kansas City Chiefs will win too. But I think 7 points is too big. I think it'll be a little closer. I'm thinking maybe 3, 4 points, maybe. So I'll give myself 3.5 favorite for the Chiefs. If I was a betting man, but it could go either way. And when we say that it's going to be close, most of the time is what you said, Hector, earlier, that the last time the Eagles were favored at 1.5, they ended up losing by what, four? You said 11 or 14 points. You remember?
By 17.
By 17 points. So look at that. Okay. So they really got to fall
Yeah.
short. But the Kansas City, they somehow don't know how to close it out in the fourth quarter. That is my concern. Would that be in favor of the Eagles? Because again, when the Eagles won the Super Bowl against New England, they took care of business in the fourth quarter. Now I know that was
Well,
under a
and I was
different
going to
head
say,
coach. Hmm.
the Chiefs did the same thing against the 49ers in the Super Bowl. They handled their business in the fourth quarter by scoring 21 points, 3 touchdowns. But going into the fourth quarter, they trailed. They had to turn it up in 15 minutes, the last 15 minutes of the game, and they did what they did. So I think it seems like it's going to come down to who's going to have the better fourth quarter, who's going to have the hot hand at the end. I think it's going to be an 8-point game. I give the Chiefs an 8-point victory here.
All
I
right.
think they're going to force the Eagles to go downfield and try to tie this game with a 2-point conversion.
The only difference here is it was in the 40s. Today, the over under is 50 and a half. So I'm going to assume that this game could be a high scoring game.
Exactly. I even have a final score,
What's your
and
final
my
score?
30-22. That's my 8 points right
30
there.
to 22.
So I take the over on that 50 and a half. Yeah, I do.
30 to 22. That's 52 total points. Woof.
Yes. Yes.
Woof.
I take the over.
Take the money line at 105, bro.
All right.
Take it. You get more money on the money line, man. But if you're going to parlay, man, you might as well parlay the spread and the over under and double your money, man. That's all I'm
You
gonna
know,
say.
I'm going to say this, and I don't know if Gerard is still on and listening. I think as a Giant fan, and even him as a Cowboy fan, I think we win either way with the Super Bowl. And
How you figure?
yeah, let me explain. So if the Chiefs win, right? Okay, so Chiefs win, we get to see Patrick Mahomes and maybe the new era of football with Mahomes winning a second Super Bowl in 3 tries, right? It's looking promising. However, if the Eagles win, that just adds another title to our division. As much as we hate to admit it, it just adds another title to our division and shows the supremacy of our division over the rest of the NFL, knowing that 3 years ago we were the laughing stock of the NFL and everybody was making fun of all four of us. But now all of a sudden we can rise back to dominance. I'm just saying, you got to look at it from some kind of perspective of positivity. We may hate the Eagles, but they're in our division and they could represent another Super Bowl title. So to me, it's almost a win-win situation.
Yeah. I think people see it differently. I think they see it like if I'm putting no money on, that's where it is.
Right.
Because sports betting is big now.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't for sports betting, then it'll be like, yeah, I understand your point of view, but you know what, right now, get out of here with that BS. But you got a point there, but Eagles still got a lot to catch up because they only got one Super
They
Bowl
do.
ring. Okay.
They have to catch the
Uh
Washington, who has 3.
the Giants 4 and the
And the
Cowboys
Cowboys 5.
5. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. To climb that ladder, baby. And the thing is, the Eagles out in that division has the most wins.
Yeah.
And because of Andy
I know.
Reid, they
Mm-hmm.
since 1999 till now, the Eagles have more wins than the Commanders, Giants, and the Cowboys. And yet they got nothing to show for.
He took them the 4 consecutive NFC championship games and only one Super Bowl to show for it, and even lost that one. I mean, that's Andy Reid just fell short. And I believe we got someone in the background who agrees.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. My dog Trixie, she's howling at you real quick, but She already know.
She knows the deal.
But we also know the deal that we're about to go to a close. And look, the coaching carousel is flying high for the head coaches, offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators. Just imagine once the Super Bowl finishes, how many different trades we might be seeing before the NFL drafts. Okay.
Yes.
How many players are going to be franchise tagged? How many are going to actually get um, a big contract and stuff like that? So it's going to be close, man. So Hogan says, honestly, I'm calling a pick six by Hertz, and it will be at the end of the game. Fair
That
enough.
that will be crazy. What a
I wish
bad
that
way
was
to end
part
it.
of a bet, man. I'll put money on that one.
You remember don't get started with that. You remember the last time we tried to make a bet and we lost. We
Yeah.
both lost.
What bet?
100 to nothing. The 100 to nothing.
Oh, that was in 2000 when the Giants defeated the Vikings, and our buddy said they're gonna win 100 to nothing, and in the first 2 minutes of the game, it was 14 to nothing. I was like, but
Yeah.
we hey, that year the Giants let all those points out because on that Super Bowl against the Ravens, we did not do it. We couldn't offensively score a touchdown.
I'm just gonna
We-
say this. I'm glad I didn't know no Cowboy fans back then because I would have never heard the end of it.
oh
Or
man.
we got shellacked.
Listen,
We
I
got
don't care what
shellacked.
the Cowboy fan says. All I have to say is 1995. That's it. Holla
Yeah.
at your boy. The Cowboys are like the Red Sox of the curse of the Bambino. We
Hey,
88 years of not going anywhere. The Cowboys are trying to match it up.
you see this number right here? This number?
I see
That
one.
we're 1-0 against the Cowboys in the playoffs all time. Ooh. And that's
Wow.
and that's how we end the show.
This show is brought to you by CMG Central. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook, All Four Downs. And if you're on my Twitter feed, that's OV_HHW show, by all means. Or you also follow me on TikTok, OV1 Podcast. We'll have that and much, much more displayed in our YouTube channel. But for now, enjoy some football. I mean, those of you that really care about the Pro Bowl, have fun with that.
Mm.
But I'm taking the week off to chill out. And once we get to the Super Bowl, it's party time, baby.
Shots,
Uh,
shots.
yeah. And
Everybody.
well, we ain't gonna hear that song. But who's the singer for the Super Bowl?
Rihanna.
Oh, Rihanna. That's right. So, all right, look at Huggins like huffing and puffing over there.
Huffing and puffing, but can't blow the
Huffing and
house down.
puffing. It is what it is. Take care, everyone. Enjoy the Super Bowl.